we are using a shared instance of OSM at this IP address. So again, you will need to connect to Etsy Hive VPN to access to it. You will be able to access it through the browser, HTTP, or through OSM, through SSH, using OSM Hackfest and the user that belongs to you. And OSM will be integrating with an OpenStack beam, which is provided at this address, again through HTTP. And well, I will tell you how to use the command line as well. And same user and password, and then you will have access to a Kubernetes cluster to launch the containerized network functions. So all of this is shared. For some platforms, you will have admin access, so make sure to be very careful with only doing things that belong to your tenant. So OSM, there are two ways to access it. You can test it right now through the dashboard. Just clicking here, it should take you to the OSM dashboard, and then, for example, I'll access my tenant, which is 52, and you will be able to access it. Then you can also, and you should also, access through SSH. So make sure you use a tool that will let you access through SSH to the machine, because we will be using a lot the CLI. Okay. And same user and password. Regarding OpenStack, you should be able to access the dashboard through this address here. Same user and password. And you should have also the OpenStack client installed in the virtual machine of OSM, and also the credentials automatically loaded in your environment. So just try an OpenStack command, and that will belong to what your tenant in OpenStack is able to see. That becomes handy when you instantiate something from OSM and want to see it from the CLI, for example. So well, I'll show you later. How does this look like? Accessing your K8s cluster, there are two ways to interact with Kubernetes. Again, there is a file in your OSM virtual machine that would let you through this command here, kubectl, and passing this kube config parameter pointing to this credentials file, you will be able to run commands over the cluster. And you will see everybody's, you will be able to see everybody's pods there, because that's not, we have provided admin access, admin credentials to everybody. But that's only for you to see things, not actually, you won't need to control anything in the cluster. Everything will be done through OSM. You can also access directly to the cluster if that's more comfortable for you. You do have a Linux user there, but all the users share the admin credentials. So the only difference is that you will be able to run the commands without the kube YAML. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is to add the beam at the OSM virtual machine. I mean, we'll be using the CLI, or for those of you who know how to use the dashboard as well, or find it more comfortable, go ahead. I'm putting the example of the CLI here because it's easier when adding config parameters. So you will be creating a beam with a specific name that when X, where X is your tenant number, okay, and then you put your user and password to authenticate with OpenStack. No? So as most of you should know already, this command integrates a beam into OSM so that OSM can communicate with OpenStack and orchestrate virtual machines and networks and storage that the VNFs need. And you will be specifying the tenant, the con type, and also we are adding these three parameters, which you will understand more in other sessions. But we're doing this now just for you to not having to create your beam again, recreate it during the week with more parameters. This is all the parameters you will need through the week. So we're specifying a management network name to define a default management network for all the VNFs that are instantiated over this beam. And this is handy when you don't want to hard code a beam network name on the management network of your descriptor. In the BLD, sometimes we're used to put beam network name is this, or sometimes when we create a network service at instantiation time, we also define the beam network name there. But some other times, for example, when you don't know where your VNF will be instantiated because of some placement automation that we have in OSM now, for example, and then you can't hard code and specify the beam network name related to management, because different beams can have different management network names. So that's why we tie the management network name to the beam. And then a couple of parameters that will be explained in the SROV session when we provide data plane high performance to our VNFs. Basically, it chooses the name of the network that we will use for the SROV ports in the compute nodes, and fixes an OVA API version. Okay, after you do this, there is a way to check that your beam is actually up. You will be accessing Grafana to the dashboards using admin credentials as it specified here. Please do not change them because we are also sharing the same Grafana, and those credentials are the ones used by OSM2 right now to automate dashboards. When Grafana loads, please look for your project status and the name of your tenant. This will be the name of the dashboard that you will be looking for. And you will see a graph or a table showing if the beam you created is up or down. So in my case, I'm Hackfest 52. So I will look for 52. OSM project status, OSM Hackfest 52. And I can see that I have a beam that is down and another beam that is up, because I created this one with an error just for us to see how it will look like. So make sure that after you go through the process of creating your beam with this command here or to the dashboard, you see that it is up. Okay, that will save you a lot of time if you make a mistake with the command. If you do an OSM beam show today, it will show enabled all the time, but it won't show the status. The status is grabbed through the MON service and is shown in Prometheus and in Grafana. Of course, you can access Prometheus. It's not well, graphically speaking, it would be a little bit harder to see the status. But if you look here for OSM beam status in Prometheus, that will be .19, I mean, same address of OSM, port 9091. There is the situation of all the beams that are created. So you should look for your beam account. If you do a OSM beam list or see it at the dashboard, you will know the ID, and then you can see if it's 1. If it's 1, is okay. If it's 0, it's not okay.